Okay, we're finally having Feeding Fun Night again. Come on. For those of you that haven't tuned in before, I'm Jennifer Meyer, and I am a speech pathologist whose specialty is actually pediatric dysphagia, but tonight is going to apply across the lifespan. We have the incredible opportunity to have the folks from SimplyThick here tonight, and they are going to talk to us about new products that they've got. We're going to be taste testing, so you can watch, and we're going to be honest. All right, so you can watch our facial expressions, and they're going to be talking to us too about new directions for using the products that we've been using. They've done quite a bit of, what would you call it, revamping?
Yes, ma'am. Reformulation.
Reformulation and modifying it, and the stuff I've been hearing sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm going to keep my little introduction short. I will say you will see some of my absolutely best friends sitting around the table, and we do this. We used to do it, what was it, every 2 months that we did it. It started out with just having my friends over, and we were all talking feeding and eating, because you have to have food at any event in which you have feeding therapists. But then my husband, the geek, came up with the idea of recording and broadcasting, and it has just gone from there. But since I've been dealing with the chronic Lyme, I got really sick for a while and did not have Feeding Fun Night. So I'm really excited to be feeling good enough to start it up again. And as I said, we are coming back with a blast by having SimplyThick here tonight. So I'm actually going to turn it over to Paul to start with. And since your bios and so forth are in the handout, which for those of you who are watching, you can go on the website and click and download the handout as well. And did y'all get handouts? Okay. Did she come? All right.
She's awesome.
She's great. We have somebody who's keeping up with details. Melody would be a great person to do it. So I will turn it over to Paul. But know that tonight we're going to be asking questions, and y'all remember, you're allowed, I hope you guys are fine, we may get you off track, we bombard with questions just as they come to our brains, and there aren't necessarily filters. And
we do have an agenda and a lineup, but we also have a tangent exception.
Good.
And we usually put someone in charge like Eugenia, so when you see me raise my hand and say 2-minute tangent, someone's job, and now you, is to say at the end of 2 minutes, back on schedule.
Okay, so that's your job, Eugenia. Okay, I turn it over to Paul.
Excellent. Leslie, will you hand me the clicker real quickly, and we'll give you the bio on Nancy Yezzi, our
Hi, everybody.
one slip, half a step ahead or behind.
No.
We'll get into her bio in a sec. No, we're going to go through, this is essentially our agenda and our key outcomes. So we're going to cover SimplyThick Easy Mix, which is our new formulation. All right, that's essentially, we're going to compare and contrast to our old formula, and we're going to cover xanthan gum thickeners in general and starch thickeners, etc. We'll go over specifics, the ingredients in the new product versus the old, cautions and contraindications, preparation especially, and then we'll really get into it about appropriate uses, and that's where we'll make a mess and have some fun all at the same time. The key outcomes, how SimplyThick works to thicken liquids, appropriate and inappropriate uses, and then demonstrate and test proper preparation for assorted foods and drinks, including margaritas and wine and fajita chicken. Excellent. So with us tonight from SimplyThick is Nancy Yezzi. She's our registered dietitian on the premises tonight. You went to school
In Buffalo, New York.
That was my next guess.
Yeah.
And you've been in clinical and operations for
close to 30 years. I like to say 25 plus.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
And it's certainly accurate. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to highlight?
Varying roles and just a personal experience with ALS in the family, and so SimplyThick is my mission.
Right.
Bringing it to others.
Absolutely, and I've been with Nancy on some of those calls where it gets real personal real quickly, and it's, you can't fake that. Leslie Lavanovic is our speech path that we brought in tonight from Arizona.
Hi there, I'm Leslie. I've been a speech pathologist for 20-some years.
Same.
And the majority of my career was in acute care in the Chicago market. and in 2014 I moved my husband and I moved our family out to Scottsdale, Arizona. When I originally arrived in Arizona, I did a little bit of contract work, which was acute care. Found that home health was the way I wanted to go for needs with my aging parents, and ended up at a conference, a head and neck conference at Stanford University, and met the SimplyThick rep there, and I applauded her. I said, "Oh, I love your product, it's wonderful." Pulmonologists approach us and ask us, what magic are we weaving? Our clients are no longer frequent flyers. The family dynamics have improved. What's going on? And I said, I wish we could take the credit for it, but it truly was SimplyThick. So I relayed this information to Carmen Cordy, and one thing led to another, and I started working for SimplyThick about a year ago. Started off part-time, and now I'm happy to say that I'm full-time. And like Nancy, it's a mission. The majority of my career has been working with adults and those with dysphagia, and I feel very strongly that we keep quality of life as high as we can. And nobody wants to be on thick liquids, but if you have to be on thick liquids, I believe we should make it as palatable as possible.
Well said.
That's my soapbox.
Well said.
And she'll be kicking that back up again throughout. My name is Paul. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say for the next slide, I want to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
But I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, because I'm going to be talking about myself, about my bio for the next 10 minutes. Kidding.
It's the last line of your bio that I love.
We're in Denton, Texas tonight, and that's where my food service experience started, was doing the dishes at Maple Hall in 1978.
But it was
79.
still NTSU.
1980, 1982, 1983, so a lot of dishwashing experience. But I've worked in the healthcare segment specifically for the last 25 years. A lot of that with Dynex, whose entire product catalog was designed to get food from the kitchen to the patient, keep it hot when it was supposed to be hot, cold when it was supposed to be cold, monitoring all those critical points in between, et cetera, et cetera. I've worked with SimplyThick for, I think, 6, 7 years now. I also work with Thrive. It's a high-protein thickened ice cream, and Medtrition, and they also do some protein and some texture-modified stuff as well. So I've got a practical background in the nuts and bolts, more in the kitchen, but once you learn how to start breaking down a problem, it typically works the same way. Jen was going to mention the highlight. My last bullet is my wife Laurie and I, we have 2 grown children that are almost maintenance-free. That's a 27 and 24-year-old. And where I say enjoy golf, my wife does not play golf, but because we both are in sales and office out of our homes, there are plenty of times where she'll say, could you go play golf? Or go to Oklahoma City and make end user calls, or anything that gets you out of my house. It's like that. So, and traveling and meeting new bartenders, and that's my wife's specialty. She's got a very elaborate cocktail recipe that, yeah, she has to make sure she's communicating effectively with the actual person who's going to make the drink, otherwise.
So she's high maintenance?
I didn't say it that way, but I'm not arguing with you. Okay. Okay. So the next slide.
I did want to say, and make sure that it's very clear, you have seen that these 3 people are employed by SimplyThick. And that is what this presentation will be about. There will be little to no information about other thickening products. We might do that in the future, but tonight we're just learning about SimplyThick and the new things that they're doing. So for ASHA purposes, we need to make that very clear. Okay?
Right, and we're kind of breaking this down because SimplyThick totally reformulated. Yes. So some of the mission we've been preaching for the last 17 years, yes, we're changing that up, and it's critical for us to get that information out.
Wow.
17 years. Now, you're also looking at the person who put most of this PowerPoint together, so when you say, wow, the old stuff looks old and fuzzy and out of focus, it's because my PowerPoint skills are being overtaxed. That's just the family shot of both of the products. What was that comment?
Not minimal to none. That's when you email it to your nephew and he puts it.
Yes. So, yes, and
I send it to Sharon.
One of the owners of the company has a millennial, and yeah, that's where
that's nice.
I could put like proper bullets in that. It's like, awesome, make that happen. So.